All right, we are recording. Welcome to Power Hour. It is Thursday, March 22nd, 81 days in. We got 284 days left of the year, and the end of the month is quickly approaching. So definitely is the time that you want to be pushing now. You don't want to wait till next week and then be all frantic. Now's the time to be frantic, and it makes those last couple days a whole lot better. I'm a big fan of the month ending on a Saturday. It works out really well, in my opinion. There's a lot of excitement coming into the weekend. There's a lot of good finish going on. So what you guys want to be doing right now is you want to be planting seeds like crazy. So we've got a week and a couple of days until it's all over for this month, and then we get to start up another one. But right now is when you want to be pushing absolutely like crazy. You want to make sure you're reaching out to everybody and really going. So hopefully you guys are doing that. And if not, we're going to address it. We're going to find the holes in the pipeline, and we're going to chat about those tonight for anything that you got, any questions on or any confusion on. So that's what Power Hour is. If this is your first one, and I know it is for a few of y'all that I see on here first time, welcome. And appreciate you all tuning in. We do this every Monday and Thursday night, along with Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. So if you're watching the recording, it's like, man, I sure wish I could watch one of these live. You got an option on Saturday mornings with Mr. Spencer Wynn, and he gets in here and absolutely blows it up. So with that, the purpose of Power Hour is to bridge the gap from when you first get started in the business and we launch you. Then after that, it's a long ways until the next event that we have typically. Sometimes it could be as much as a month away. So next big event that we have coming up is the Billion and Beyond broadcast. And a lot of the group that's on here tonight is in the Houston, Dallas, San Antonio area. And I know we've got folks all the way in British Columbia. I know we got folks on Costa Rica here on the call tonight. So not trying to, leave you guys out. Definitely look on teamfusionfamily.com, look underneath events, and you'll be able to see all the different locations that's going to be hosted. So make sure you get yourself registered for those events. Make sure you have plans for going to them. But what Power Hour is for is to be able to bridge the gap from when you're launched to one of those next big events. And what this is for is there's a skill involved in our profession. Being network marketers is a profession. Now, some people come in and they treat it like a hobby, and that's fine, completely fine. That's what's neat about this is if you just want to kind of dip your toe in, no problem. It'll pay you that way too, just a heads up on that. So if you want to get in this and you want to turn it into a career, you absolutely 100% can turn it into a career. And the purpose of these sessions are to teach you the skills, hone those skills. And what's neat is there's not a whole lot of skills that you got to learn. In all of network marketing, there's about 6 or 7 skills that you got to get really good at. And what we teach here is how to get good at 3 skills. And that's really all you need to be able to get started in this and make a whole lot of money. So that's what we go over. That's what we're here for. So first thing that we do every session and throughout the session that I'm running is feel free to answer any questions. I feed off of your energy. I feed off your questions. I can tailor them specifically to you for the answers. So now is a really good chance for you to be able to get that answered. So anything and everything is open, and anything that you got as a question, please feel free to ask. If you don't feel comfortable doing that and you want to type it in, maybe you don't have a microphone on your phone, that's absolutely fine. And then one other thing that I like to throw out there is if you could definitely have your video on. That's something that I request. Makes the recording good, but more importantly, it lets everybody in here know that we're in the human business. We're in the people business. And even if that's weird for you, if you like hiding a little bit, I want to get you out of your shell. I want to get you in front of everybody because when you can do that here, then you're going to be able to do that out there. And that's really important as well. So with that, let's open it up for some questions. Does anybody have any questions that's been really on their mind that they'd like to ask? Go ahead and just unmute yourself and ask away.
How you doing, Mr. Salgi? It's William.
Doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. Hey, just a quick question. You know how they have that that new Kyani.com little link? Have you seen that yet? It's kind of a updated version. Do you know how you have your site name at Kyani.com or Kyani.net, and it takes your potential business partner or customer to your site to shop or what have you?
Yeah. The button. You push the button to be able to launch it?
Yes, sir. Well, they announced something at ILA about Kyani.com, and it's kind of like an updated, fresh new look. I don't know if you've seen it yet. And I looked at it and I was wondering if they had something to where you link your site name to it. Does that make sense?
I do. Yes. Now it's ringing a bell. I do remember seeing. I don't know if it was an insider meeting or where I saw it, but I do remember seeing that at ILA that they are doing a refresh of the site and they're bringing some different content in. Excuse me. I'm not sure when that was going to be launched or how you get to it though. That I didn't capture that. I didn't see that. So I don't know if that's out there. If anybody knows and they want to drop that in the chat session on how to get to that and they're aware, feel free to drop that in there.
But it works right now, but I just don't know if that's if there's a way to link your site name to it yet, unless that's going to come with Kyani Pro next month or whatever.
If it's not out, I would imagine that's probably a really good assumption on when they're going to launch it, and they'll have all of that come out at once. If you're seeing the generic site as being done and you're curious, how do I make my site do that? My guess is that they're probably putting that out there for feedback and doing a beta test on that. And then it's a real simple thing to be able to take that and push that out for everybody else. And from a code perspective, that's a simple thing to do on a rebrand. So my guess is they'll probably have a big splash to be able to have it coincide with the billion and beyond and everything else that's going to be coming with that and that big push for the 4,000 diamonds. So my guess is that'll all probably come out at the same time if it's not out there just yet.
Okay, Tim 4. Thank you.
Yeah, good question, man. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Way to get it started. All right, who else we got with some questions out there? Anybody? Bueller? Some of y'all are too young to know who that is, and that hurts me. I'm getting to be one of those old people now.
All right, I have a question for you.
There it is. How you feeling, Kyle? You feeling better?
Not really.
This man's a trooper. Anybody makes excuses, look at Kyle. He's fighting the flu, and I don't care. I'm coming to everything.
That's right. All right, so when is a good time to revisit a customer or a potential customer who was, I love this. This looks fantastic. I want to order. You give them your link and nothing. And then you go, do you need help ordering? And nothing. And they just kind of ghost. When would be the best time to reapproach them?
As soon as you think.
Or do you? Okay.
As soon as you think about it. I'm a big fan of guerrilla warfare, man. I mean, you keep doing it until they unfriend you or they freaking order. That's really honestly how I go about it. Because if somebody tells me they're going to do something, I expect them to do it. That's just how I roll. And now I also get that life happens, and that's completely cool. That's why I use the assumption of, look, something happened to them. There's somebody that I know. There's somebody that told me they're going to do what they're going to do. If they didn't, pretty good chance something in life happened. And if they're just being inauthentic and they're just not doing what they say they're going to do, then I'm really going to irritate them until they tell me that they don't want to do it, because there's just no point in that. We don't need to play games. So, and the reason I do that is I'm passionate about what I have. I want them to know that I am all about this. When people see me, I want them to think blueberries. I honestly do. I'm completely good at that, because what I have will change and absolutely transform their life. And if they think that that's crazy that I have that much passion about this little package, I'm cool with that too. No problem. You keep being ordinary and not getting anything done in your life, I'm fine by that too. So it's just, it's my armor. It's the way that I go about it. And so, some people say, wow, why do you bug people so much about it? There's a good Grant Cardone quote about that. And he says, man, I'm sorry you don't feel passionate about your stuff so much to call them every single day about it.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Good question. Hope you feel better, man. Keep double up on that. Double up on everything, man. Maybe triple up.
I am.
Good. Absolutely, Miss Host. Grant Cardone. Uncle G. He's the man. Does not mess around. All right. Let's see here. How is a good way to peak people, since I've obviously have this issue? So peaking is the easiest part of what we do. Let me draw this out for everybody so that they can kind of get oriented here, because I know we got some folks that have recently joined, and I want them to see this over and over again here. So let me move that and that. So when you first get started in this thing, what you're going to do is you figure out your why. You figure out your list. And that's where you make the nice big array of all your people. I'm getting really good. I think that's 20 again. I say that every time and I never count. So, okay. And then what you do is you are going to build rapport. You're going to pique interest. And you're going to edify. Now, I keep writing this the same way because I want this to be burned into your TV, burned into your laptop, burned into your brain, that you just keep thinking about this over and again. And the question was, how do I get good at this? Because obviously I've got an issue with that. Actually, people don't have an issue with the pique. What they have an issue with is the rapport. Because the pique is the easiest thing in the world. The reason that you leave rapport and you go to the pique is because you have an answer to one of 4 questions. Are they interested in wealth? Are they interested in health? Are they interested in time? Or are they interested in beauty? The hard work is in the rapport. How do I get them to talk about these things? Because once they talk about one of those things, they're going to give you something personal about it. And when they do, all the pique is confirming, hey, I'm hearing what you're talking about. I hear that you need to help your daughter Susie get to college. So obviously you need to make some money. Did I get that right? You need to make some money, right? They're going to say, yeah. Like, great. You interested in knowing how to do that? Yeah. What you got? That's the pique. Pique's easy. It's easy if you do the rapport right. If you don't do the rapport right, then the pique is a really weird thing. And you start asking them questions and it feels icky because you're asking them something that you don't think has anything to do with what they've got going on. If you know they're all about making money, if you're in a real estate investment club with them and you know they like making money, you can start off and just go straight to it and say, hey, Bill, quick question for you. You still interested in making money? Yeah. You want to find out how to make some more money? Yeah. What do you got? I got a guy. I need you to talk to him. Okay. And there's a gentleman on here, Mr. Bill Whitecotton. That's exactly how he was brought to the table with this thing. On Sunday, a lady that he works with reached out and did exactly that. And right after that, he got put on the phone with me. We chatted for about 45 minutes. Then we talked the next day for, I don't know, about 20, 30 minutes. Then he had some errands, and then we got him enrolled later that day. And then the next day, on Tuesday, we launched him. And here we are on Thursday, and he's in Power Hour. That's pretty cool. So that wasn't a hard thing to do on the pique because the rapport was already in place. If you know somebody well enough that's in your list of 20 going across there, then you can simply go straight into it, confirm that it's still an issue or something they're interested in, say, hey, you still like making money or are you allergic to it? Nope, still like making money. Now, if they say, nah, money's not really everything, then it's not time to move on and ask them if they want to, make more money. They're not interested in the money part. That's not their thing. You can literally start the conversation up with, hey, Bob, how you been, man? Hey, quick question for you. Which one do you like more? Do you like wealth, health, money, or time? Or beauty? I said wealth and money, and so sometimes you can do that too. And they're going to say, I like all 4 of those, or 5. You say, fantastic. Got something I want you to take a look at, be interested in seeing how it'll solve all those problems? Yeah, what do you got? The pique is just a simple question on it, and it's reconfirming, and it's basically taking, hey, what I heard you say was you want to fix the money issue. Did I get that right? Yes, you did. Cool. That's all the pique is, if you do the rapport right. The rapport is the big thing. The rapport is the one that you got to get in there and really dig in and find out, okay? Now, sometimes it's sitting right there on the surface. Sometimes, as soon as you start talking to them, they're going to tell you. Now, here's the big deal. Here's the big rub. This is what everybody does. They hear all that, and it sounds all fun and good, but then you get out there in the real world, and you start fumbling around. You're like, oh, okay, it made perfect sense last night. What the hell? Why do I not know what to do right now? So what you got to do is you need to practice, okay? Practice this. Practice with somebody else. Practice with other business partners. Guess what? You see a whole bunch of people on here. You see their names. Meet up with them. Get an accountability partner. Get a swim buddy, somebody that's going to be out there with you. And if you don't feel good about this, say, hey, you mind if we practice this on a couple times and do a little role playing? Best way to do it. The Houston Astros do not go out there onto the field without doing something called spring training. What are they doing? They're doing a whole bunch of different scenarios, so when it comes time for game time, they're prepared. It's not the first time they ever swung the bat at the first game. So practice some of these things. Okay. Now, some of you might say, Casey, that's overkill. Cool. Get out there and do it. But don't get out there and start trying to tell them all the stuff that you want to tell them about this without finding out what it is that they want. What happens when we first get started is we're excited about this. We see whatever it is we see. That's the why. We see that we can go out and either help a whole bunch of people or make a whole bunch of money or be able to hang out with people or have significance or whatever it is your thing. And when we see that, we expect the next person that we run into is going to want the exact same thing. And sometimes that's the case. And those are the people that you get along with really, really well. But you're excluding 80% of the population that doesn't have your personality type or the things that you want to achieve. You've got to find out what they want. If the world would do a better job of talking and listening in the ratio in which they have mouths and ears, the world would be a whole lot better. You got one of these, two of those, use it in that ratio. Some of y'all use this 100, and some of y'all haven't used these in a long time. The reason for that is you got a little voice in here that is feeding you information on what you actually need to be saying constantly. And when you're not using this, these are supposed to be tuned into the other guy. You got these turned into the voice that's inside of here, listening to all the stuff. So, okay, we need to tell them about this and this and this and this and this. And they just got done telling you that they have zero interest in making money. They are solely about our charity. And you didn't hear that, and you keep talking about how you're going to make a whole lot of money. And then you are flabbergasted why nobody is joining your business. Sometimes it's not that extreme. Sometimes you're listening intently, but the conversation is not going anywhere near any of those four questions, and you just let it keep on drifting out there. You got to drive the conversation. Casey, how do I drive a conversation to get it to talk about wealth or health? You say, hey, is everybody healthy in your family? That's how you get to start talking about the health side. On the money side, hey, have you been on any vacations or got to go buy a new car in a while, or how's the house, or weren't y'all talking about a vacation home? Vacation home, those words have never come out of my mouth. Oh, I'm sorry, I got you mixed up with somebody else. Would you be interested in vacation home? They're like, are you selling timeshares? Nope. You start having a conversation. So you gotta spark the interest there. And the thing is, if it's not you telling a whole bunch of story here, it's simply letting them talk about themselves. If you don't know how to start a conversation, go up and start asking them questions about them. And they'll get done and will have talked for 20 straight minutes, and they'll finish up, and then they'll, oh my goodness, the time, I got to go. And they're going to say, man, this has been such a wonderful conversation. You're going to sit there and like, that was a monologue, man. I didn't get one word in. Be cool with that. You want to do that here. Listen to what they're saying. Get them talking and let them go. Now, and the other thing is have a long view on this thing. Some of you are in such a hurry to go in for the kill and get right to it. You interrupt, let them talk. That's how they're building trust with you. That's how they're building a relationship. That's how they're going to be partners with you in this thing potentially. Okay? Now, if it's somebody that you don't want to be partners with, don't even start the conversation and get yourself out of the situation. Some of you are going out and trying to pique people's interest that you shouldn't have in your business. Okay. Awesome. Good question. Sarah, did that help? Thumbs up if it did. Cool. All right. Both Sarahs like that one. I got 4 thumbs. That was cool. All right. Other questions? Let's keep it rolling. This is good. Anybody? I see a lot of this going on when I ask that. That's kind of fun. I like watching that. How many people? We got a good group on here tonight. All right, couple things that I want to talk about. And these are, and I like having this because I get to write down notes as I run into things over a couple of days. Some things just, I got to talk about that, and I'll jot it down. And that's usually what my training topics are on. The one I wrote down on here is, what do you do when somebody blows you off because they make too much money? And that one really cracked me up. Anybody run into that? Somebody says, no, I'm doing good. I'm making plenty of money. Anybody get that one? Cool. All right. So for all y'all that have sensitive ears or you got children in the room, cover their ears for a little bit. When people say that, they're full of shit. Okay? Just so everybody's crystal clear on that. When people say that, they're not being authentic. Okay? There is nobody that when they say, oh, I make plenty of money. No. Because you can always make more money to be able to give to charitable contributions or things like. When you're making money, I promise you that somebody truly is making that, that's not going to be a thing. Now, that might not be their driving force. I'm good with that. Absolutely, without a doubt. You get to a point, you got enough money, and then you're like, I am good on this. But anybody that's made money will always be interested in how to make more of it. Because those people that have made enough, those people are looking for significance. They're looking to be able to do something of significance. The people that say that are saying they're not interested in doing what you're doing, but they're not being authentic when they say it. And what's really funny is the person that said this, I actually know a little background on it. And I know that they barely had enough to get the business started, and they came in at $3.99. And I know that they were talking about helping some other people get started in this thing, but they were waiting on a big check to come in. People like that, guess what? No, that's not the answer. That's not the answer that they're making too much money. When you hear that, and when you hear some of these, and a lot of you know when you're hearing nonsense from people. When you hear nonsense from people, come back over to the top of them. Don't just take that and go, okay, and shrink away. Step into it. Have a verbal battle with somebody. Have a chat with them and say, that's interesting. You might be the first person I've ever ran into that's truly made so much money that they're not interested in making more. What do you do with all your money? What type of contributions are you in? Are you giving it to vets? Or are you doing, homeless shelters? Or what is it that you're doing with all your money? Because if you are making so much money, it seems like you'd be interested in maybe making some more of it that would fund some big deals, some special things. And call them out on it. If you do that, what'll happen is either they're going to want to fight some more, or they'll twist and they'll actually go to what their true issue is. Okay? So when you hear people with these trump cards, no, I've looked into that. I wasn't interested in that. I had that one happen today too. So, and the question was, what should I come back with? You come back with, it's like, well, you obviously were not shown a very good version of this then, and somebody screwed up completely explaining it to you, because I'm looking at this thing, I'm doing it. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And if you don't think so, then obviously you didn't get good information. Would you like to take another look at by somebody that actually knows what they're doing? Or was there some other reason that you're not sharing with me on why this wasn't your thing? I do that because I want to get down in the crux of it and see if there's a block in their mind about this. Because there's a chance that I can overcome that. I can overcome that objection. But if you don't know the objection, then you can't overcome it. Some of you are trying to solve a problem that's not truly the problem. Well, they told me it was. Well, guess what? They were lying. They were trying to mask the true issue that stuck way back here by giving you this facade, thinking that that was going to be enough to get you to walk away. Now, some of you, you know what? If you don't want them in your business, that's cool, but don't even start with them. If you're going to start with them, you might as well go all the way with it so that you can get down to the true crux of it. Now, this is deep. This is getting in a whole lot harder, okay? And if this freaks you out a little bit, and you're like, man, that's fine, no problem. I just want to let you know what's out there and what you can do. And what that'll do is it'll give you more confidence that what we're doing is truly pretty something special. Now, people say, Casey, some people just don't want to do this. I'm good with that. Just say you don't want to do it. Don't give me nonsense. Have the guts to tell me the truth. That's all I'm asking for. You don't have to. And if somebody, I have no problem telling people if they're bringing me something, I will look. And when they show it to me, I'll say, I'm not interested. And they'll say, why? I said, because I'm not interested. Plain and simple. I'm good with what I'm doing. Well, you don't understand. I do understand. You're trying to get me to do something. I don't want to do it. That's all there is to it. That's a good answer. But when somebody says, no, I got too much money, I don't need to do that. No, just say you don't want to do it. Okay? When people are hiding like that, they're holding something back. They're not being authentic with you. And when you hear that, your spidey sense goes off. When your spidey sense goes off, then you can decide, is this somebody that I want to keep dealing with that's going to not tell me the truth? Or is there something there that I might be able to overcome because there's a pain point? This guy, honestly, he's got issues. I really think that's the issue. I don't think it's a pain point. He needs to do some personal development. Okay. All right. Did that spawn anything? Any questions popping up? Any thoughts, theories? Yes, Miss Tanya Holmes.
I have a specific issue that's going to come up next week. I have somebody who's talking to, we both have the same circle of friends.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, when I started Kyani 2.5 years ago, none of my friends listened to me. However, I also have another friend who did become one of my business partners. She's in my organization.
Uh-huh.
And after all this time, now they're starting to kind of listen.
Cool.
However, she's passing them on to me. And I know that situation is going to come up next week with a girl that said, was telling her specifically, yeah, man, I'm looking for something. My kids need, I'm paying for all my kids in college. And she was like, really? Oh, well, and I don't know what she said to her. And she goes, oh, yeah, is that thing Tanya's doing? And she said, yeah. She said, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'd like to maybe find out about it. Well, then that was our conversation with my business partner this morning. But before I knew it, I don't know what she went back to say, but she came and she sent me a text and said, oh, she said it's too expensive for her. Well, she hasn't seen anything yet, first of all. Mm-hmm. But I know what's going to happen. She's going to pass her to me. And then what do? She didn't listen to me before. Do I have a one-on-one or do I pass her to somebody else?
No, yeah, I would have the chat with her and lay it down. So there's a lot of hers and she's, so I think I got it, but let me recap it to make sure I know this. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Because you see it in your brain and I'm hearing she and she. I say it, I call it the two.
It's been going on for about 2 years. So.
Yeah. So you've got a business partner finally coming back in the game, talking too much and probably threw up on the prospect. And the prospect was interested in chatting with you, and now all of a sudden the prospect thinks it's too expensive.
Right, but this is a prospect that wasn't interested in talking to me
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now, was it because they said, hey, I'm going to pass you over to Tanya? Is this the thing that Tanya was doing? Yeah. Do you want to talk to her? Then she started saying it was too expensive. So is it a personality thing, you think, or do you think
no, not at all.
Okay. So your concern is she didn't listen to you 2.5 years ago. Why is she going to listen to you now?
Well, because in our circle of friends, I didn't have a whole lot of influence there.
That's extra story. I'm just trying to make sure that I get the crux of it. Is that the concern? Is that you're talking to a prospect? You're going to be talking to a prospect, and they didn't join then, and you're concerned that they might not join now because they didn't listen to you before. Is that the concern?
Right. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay,
yes.
I want to get that part, and then we can move on to all other parts in there.
That is it exactly.
Okay. So first thing is, big old story going on. Who cares? And what we'll do is we'll get in our own head, and we will come up with all sorts of monsters underneath the bed and in the closet on how this is going to go down. And instead, just come in on, do you understand this business now?
Me? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Are you an emerald in this business?
Yes.
Cool. Have you had a lot of success in this business?
Yes.
Well, then they need to sit down, grab a Coke and a smile, and take some notes.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If they're going to be, if they're going to, how do I be nice about that? I have to struggle on this sometimes. If we're going to be nice and have them do all that stuff, if they decide that they're not going to do it a second time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they want to come around 2.5 years when you're, a couple diamonds in your profile.
Maybe.
Yep. Don't ever forget, and this is good. This is good for everybody. Don't forget how this thing works. You have the golden goose.
Yeah, I was just, I guess my concern was she was going to pass them off to me. And yes, I've been doing it for a while. They obviously know it now. I guess I'm just struggling. Just like, okay, well, why didn't they just talk to me then?
Because they didn't have any, you didn't have any proof back then?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
We'll
know.
try it. I'm going to get, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to be quiet because I'm going to try to be nice, Casey.
I'm a big fan of laying it out there, Now, and I obviously don't know the full situation on what all is there, but all I can say is whatever that is, and I don't really need to probably know the situation because that's just a whole bunch of past stuff, and who cares what's in the past. It's, hey, how you been? Good to see you. I don't know if you've seen him in a while or if you talk to him, or do you interact with this person?
I haven't really since I left work. No, I mean, we're friends on Facebook, but.
Ooh. And so y'all used to work together, and now you don't work there anymore, so.
Right.
Sounds like even more proof on what's going on. So when you have that chat, no apologies, no, it's all good. It's a new person. Who knows how that? Maybe they've been going to Tony Robbins seminars for the last 2 years and they're ready to go. They might have been reading some books. So I don't bring any of that baggage up to where it's at.
Yeah.
Now, if they immediately fall into their old patterns and they start doing the same thing they were doing before, then just make it real quick and easy. If they start, acting like the fool, it's real simple. Say, look, you can just go ahead and bounce on out of here. Go back and get your nice little, whatever you're driving that's all rusted out and head on back to whatever job. Oh, that's right. I used to work there. Yeah, have fun with that.
Okay.
I think one of the best things I ever heard, and it's mainly because he irritates the living crap out of me, was a kid in this business. And the first time he sat down with James Bradford, he came in and was just blowing up James, talking a lot of this and that and the other. And then James finally had enough of it and said, hey, real quick, is that your Camry that you just came in here? No, it's Honda Civic. Is that your Civic out there? Cool. That one right next to my Alfa Romeo? Here's an idea. Take all your stuff. You can get in your car and head on back, or you can sit down and listen, and I'll show you how to make some money in this thing. Which one you want to do?
Yeah. Okay.
So real simple on that. Real simple. And you don't have to light anybody up just to be cocky to them, but if they're talking trash, come over to top of them and squish them like a little bug. Y'all get the ability to do that. I'm giving you permission, just like that. Squish like bug.
Okay.
Because, and honestly, and I want you guys to realize what we have at behind us. Again, don't come out being an ass to anybody, but if they want to play, bring it. Come on. $40 billion in assets. That's what's running this thing. 60 countries.
And Mr. Saldi, can I chime in here real quick?
Please.
Tanya, I'm really curious. Does your prospect have respect for Heidi, or does she look at Heidi as like your daughter?
She doesn't even know Heidi.
Okay, well, I mean, there are totally, so everything that Mr. Saldi said is 1,000% correct, of course, right? But the beauty about this business is that for times that you are already going in this hesitant,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything that he was saying about the story that you're telling yourself, it's all 100% true. But the beauty about this business is that in times like this, I mean, even David Nieves, Purple Diamond, personally sponsored someone, and that person just wouldn't listen to a thing he said. He was so uncoachable, even though David's produced the results. He's been in the business for years. So he just straight up passed him off to one of his sapphires. And all of a sudden, this personally sponsored person that David introduced to the business goes sapphire in 30 days. And he's like, what the heck? I told him everything to do. So sometimes it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your posture and everything to do with their relationship and their how they perceive you. Yeah. And so our job in this business is to have enough awareness to know where we stand with people. and you have so much leverage in this business. Like, my comment in here to borrow Miles's Lambo was like a half joke. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that both Heidi and Miles have grown so much in this business that they could have the posture that you, even if you did have it, would not be as effective.
Right.
So, don't be afraid to leverage, even if it's not Heidi or Miles, someone who's sideline, downline. Your prospect doesn't know.
My question is, this girl's passing them on to me, and I know them, and they know I do this, but do I pass her on to somebody else? That was my
right. Sure. And that's the circumstances that if this person respects you, you handle it. I can't tell you how many people I've personally sponsored without a third party, but it's because I was aware enough to make the call that I had enough influence on this person, and I had enough confidence and skill set at that point to be effective.
Okay.
But even if it was a contact of a contact who knew me, who knew this person, but I know that person's not going to listen to me seriously about this business, then, that's what your upline's for, your sideline.
Okay.
Just
okay.
And
okay. And I think now I kind of get that now.
And here's the biggest thing. Don't overthink it, because you're about to have an aneurysm. I can just feel it. Worst case scenario, Tanya, you meet with her and she's like already all crossing her arms, crossing her eyes, crossing everything because she's already thinking it's too expensive. That's when you need to also experience what it feels like to have the posture to say, like, look, even if it's halfway through the presentation, you can say, look, I can tell that you're not really open right now, and my time is so valuable. I know yours is too. So let's go ahead and revisit this in the future when you're ready, right? Okay. You take things away like that. Worst case scenario, or really worst case scenarios, she says no.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So all you can do is learn, or she's going to enroll, or if she doesn't enroll, she could be doing you a favor, because, you know what I mean?
She's going to be a drain on resources. Absolutely.
I'm just looking, because I was looking for people who want this, not the ones who don't.
And that's the thing. If they want to sit down and talk, then they're interested.
Yeah. I think you said something.
Yeah.
You said something earlier. I'm the girl who's talking to her kind of is talking too much.
Yep.
Well, then you're her offline, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Coach.
Have a chat with her and tell her and say, look, and now this is interesting because I've had personal experience with this. I'll go in there and I'll explain something to somebody and they're just going to do it their own way. Then you bypass that person and you take ownership and extreme ownership, and anybody that they happen to bring in, you sit down and train them and you tell them and say right off the bat, hey, glad you're here. The person that brought you in did it wrong. Guaranteed. You're here. Love that. But it's not going to duplicate doing it that way. You got two choices. You can do it the way they did, or you can do it the way that duplicates and makes you a lot of money. Your choice. You pick. Tell me right now.
Okay.
And if they want to jump on board with that, cool. If they want to go do it their way, cool. Are they going to get lucky every once in a while? Absolutely. Then you go to grab that person too. People say, well, I didn't spot. They're in your organization. And when you know what needs to be done, step in and do that. People get so, I don't want to rock the boat, man. Just rock it till they fall out of the damn thing. Okay? Especially when you know what needs to be done. Don't sit there and let them go messed up. Huh?
Just get her on the phone. I say, just get her on the phone with Casey.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's
anybody who needs anybody lit up, you just send a text like a bat signal, man. I mean, I need somebody lit up, so just let me know.
Okay. That's awesome. Yes, thank you both.
Good. You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you, Miss Sarah, for jumping on. And for y'all that don't know, Miss Sarah Ho, top producing diamond in the business. We also got Mr. Spencer Wynn down here, top producing diamond in the business. Appreciate you guys being on. And anytime we got diamonds on and you guys have something to say, you got an open mic, jump in, because I want y'all to be able to give that other perspective. Now, if you're not a diamond, you don't get to unmute yourself and give your points. You can put that in the text, so in the chat. Otherwise, we get pandemonium. But no, very much welcomed on that. Very good question, Miss Tanya.
Thank you.
Thanks welcome.
Y'all.
Absolutely. All right. And another, to finish off that point on the posture side, when you're doing this business, please, 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 you've got the golden goose. It's dropping eggs. You're offering the egg. If they want to grab it, cool. If they don't, pick the egg up, put it back in the sack, and out you go. And seriously, on the business side, Be that way with it. Again, you can do that without being cocky. But if somebody wants to start, pushing and just like, look, let's get this really, really clear. You're asking good questions, but you're also getting into the realm of it doesn't seem like you're too serious about this, and you're trying to convince me that this isn't going to work. Let's just save ourselves both a whole lot of hassle. You're honestly, I'm going to just be straight up and tell you, you're not who I'm looking for in this business anyway. And I wish you all the best of luck in the world. If they screwed up and they want to be able to fix that, they can come right back and say, "Oh, I didn't mean any offense. I'm sorry." I said, "No, don't take it, man. I'm cool. If you want to figure this thing out, cool. If you don't, and you want to keep trying to act like it's not what it is, you can take that elsewhere. I got a whole list of people I need to be calling right now, so no problem." And treat your business that way, because if you're in here trying to convince them and just all this, no. I had a guy that was trying to argue with me about the contents of what's in it. And finally I told him, I said, "Look, man, you're the one that's working at Chili's, not me." He did not like that. I don't care. I ain't got time for that. And I need somebody to bring my baby back with me, so it's cool.
And for Tanya specifically, because I know that, first of all, for those of you who don't know, Tanya is Heidi's mom, and she's one of the sweetest. If you guys have ever been trained, let me just make a quick side note. My hair is crazy because I just got home from Krav Maga, so let me just put that out there. When you introduced me as a diamond, I'm like, ooh, I don't look like a diamond right now. Anyway, so Miss Tanya is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Like, her energy is just so nurturing and warm, and you're just like, man, she has my back if I ever meet her. And for those of you, how many of you been trained on the personality types as far as shark, whale, dolphin? I almost said peacock, but we're mixing birds and fish here. But basically, Casey's so good at being an urchin shark because he's been in this industry for 7 years. So he knows what he has his hands on. But for many of you who are still, as we call like freshmen in this industry, and still in year one, if you don't have that type of confidence yet and you try and force it, it will come across as empty confidence and kind of like, I don't know how to word it, but like, I can't tell you how many times that I've been prospected. Still, as leaders in this industry, you get prospected all the time by other MLMers. And if you could tell they're just like trying to like use this like verbiage and stuff, but they're not backing it up, it's equally ineffective. So what I wanted to say was for you, Tanya, and anyone else who has one of the more softer, nurturing personalities, which are equally important to build a successful organization, you can have the same type of posture, but do it in a way where you're letting them answer their own questions. So for example, that mom who's paying for all of her kids for college right now, all you need to do is come in prepared with some sort of line of questions that she can answer so that you're not putting words in her mouth, right? And so that you're not attacking her. The worst thing you can do, for those of you who are taking notes, is get in an argument or disagree with your prospect. Grant Cardone says that's the number one rule in closing, right? You're trying to get in a fight or an argument with someone that you're trying to do business with. I don't think so, right? Maybe amateurs will force them in. And like what Casey's talking about, that's different. That's like putting them in their spot when they need to be put in. And they're totally, like when Casey was sharing that story about the whole Camry, like I know exactly who he's talking about, right? And that guy ended up going diamond in the business. And so my point is, like, for example, just let her know. When you're coming from a place of genuine concern for, hey, I'm just curious, so what's your current situation? Why are you, I'm curious, what intrigued you most about this business? She's like, even if she's being stubborn, she's going to say, so-and-so told me that this could be a way to generate some extra income to pay for my kids' college. And you say, okay, so what other plans do you have right now to do that? Right? It's not aggressive, but she's going to start thinking, she's going to be like, nothing, right? Either that, or she's going to start listing alternatives that don't match up with what Kyani has to offer. She can be like, I was going to start taking up, Uber, or I was going to start picking up a second job, or I was going to, sell one of my kids. No, I'm just joking. But what I'm saying is that she's going to start thinking, because the best closers ask the best questions. You know what I mean? And it's still equally postured without attacking them. Does that make sense? So it's a really professional way to close when you're being intentional about it. So.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you for all those sweet, and there's not a day goes by that you don't look beautiful. So thank you so much.
Y'all. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, when you guys get to a level like Casey told you where you can totally be a chameleon, like you can be soft and nurturing, or you can be the shark, or you could be like the urchin with all the numbers, like Casey's on it like a chameleon, right? But until you get to that point, really step into your strength. And it comes to that self-awareness, right? So that you're not going to be like, I'm going to talk like James Bradford. You're not James Bradford, right? I'm going to talk like David Nieves. Like, people, if you are just authentic, you will set yourself apart from the masses. And I tell that to my team all the time. There's so much, literally this other girl prospected me the other day saying like, hey, you interested, gave me the pitch. And I said, what company are you with? She goes, oh, we use Amway products, but we're not with Amway. I said, we use Amway products, but we're not with Amway. What in the world does that mean? She's trying to give me this real big loop, right? And I just straight up coached her and I said, hey, look, I don't normally take the time to coach these people, but I actually knew her from a long time ago. But I said, I know you have a lot of potential in this industry. So I'm just going to tell you right now that if something that I wish a mentor told me from the very beginning, so I wouldn't waste so much time and energy, is just to be straight with people from the get-go. I said, if you're going to be with Amway, rep it. Be proud of it. You know what I mean? Because as soon as a prospect finds a hole in your integrity, it's done, right? And even if they do sign up, you're attracting a certain type of person. So anyway, sorry, I just went on a little tangent there, but basically I'm saying be authentic to you and your personality, and that's going to be what draws people, because people are so drawn to people who are in line with themselves and take full ownership and know how to use their strengths.
Good stuff.
All right, sorry.
We had a couple people raise their hand. Stephanie, you raised your hand. Did you have something, question or comment on that? And also, Elaine, it looks like you'd raise your hand as well.
Can you hear me?
I got you now, Elaine.
Hi, everyone. My question is, I recently got in touch with a network marketer. He's in the military and he's about to be getting out in 3 years. And I asked him, what are you planning on doing after you retire? And he said he was planning on going full-time into network marketing. And he's part-time now. And I piqued him. He looked at the information. He asked me to call him. We had a conversation. He told me about his company. I told him about ours. What he's interested in is he wants to dig into our comp plan. And I know that previously we had videos about our comp plan, but because it has changed, I don't know what to do.
Gotcha. Bao Nguyen just released a very, very cool comp plan video. It shows the 9 or 10 different ways that we get paid. It's probably, 15, 20 minutes long. I don't know where that's been posted. I know I saw it in one of the higher chats, but have you seen that?
I believe it was posted on Team Fusion Official.
Cool. Well, there's a very good one that you can use and send that on over. That'll be a really powerful one to be able to use and share. It's also on Vimeo.
Okay.
If somebody happens to have that link and wants to post that, or you want to post it out, actually put it out on the power, because we're about to run out of time here, and I've got we all got summits coming up. Post it out on the Power Hour messenger thread, and that'll be a real good one. I would use that. Another thing to do is put out the income disclosure document. I like using that one and showing that one. I haven't seen anything beat that. So that's a real good one. Go ahead.
So for you, I know you also wanted to dig into the comp plan. That's why I'm interested in what exactly was it that you were looking for, so that I can kind of sort of compare it or hit on it or whatever.
You always want to get a feel on how easy it is to be able to hit the first rank. That's one of the most important things. People need to be able to see that. We have Garnet, we have Jade. That's not that difficult of a thing to do compared to some of them that are out there. My previous company, you had to have 6 people come in. And that's a lot to be able to just hit your very first rank to get anything extra. And it's been posted to the chat here as well. Sarah just posted that out there. I had that before we end this call, and you'll be able to get a hold of that chat session. for the link. But yeah, that's one of the big ones to be able to look at, knowing the averages. And my previous company wouldn't even share that. I was able to extrapolate some things, but I had to take guesses. And being able to have that, that's huge. And if a company doesn't offer that, you need to blow them up. You need to say, well, why are they hiding that? And they say, oh, well, they're a private company. They don't have to. It's like, well, mine's a private company too. So, that's gone. That'd be an easy way to blow that up.
All right. Well,
Yep.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Very good question. All right, Stephanie, did you have a question for us? Let me unmute you there. Stephanie, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if you can see me, but no, I think my baby hit my tablet. I didn't have a question, though. Thank you.
The baby was raising the hand. That's cool. No worries. No worries. All right, very good. Thank you. Who is? All right. Question: who is Grant, Sarah, for the Pete? Meaning Grant Cardone? Linda, are you asking about Grant Cardone? Yeah. Yeah, Mr. 10X. And if you want to read one of the coolest books ever, Be Obsessed or Be Average. That's one of those that was it moved the needle for me in a big way. Big, big, big way. And that was just here recently, last couple months. Be Obsessed or Be Averaged. 10X is also a good one, but I think Be Obsessed or Be Average was a whole lot better than 10X. I like 10X a lot. And you can tell the book because it's the one where he is sitting on his airplane, where he's actually sitting on the engine. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Hey, Casey, can you hear me?
I sure can. What you got?
Hey, I got a quick question for
this first time I got to meet you guys. You guys are up in Canada, huh?
You betcha, up in BC.
Excellent. Welcome to the team, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I just got a quick question for you. With the majority of the people up here, obviously it's a little newer, but lots of them are skeptical. They believe it's just another pyramid scheme or the same as all the other networking companies. So what's a big way to really tip that boat to make them believe or know that this isn't just another one of those?
Let's take, give me a concrete example, because I want to weave this back into what I think is happening, but give me a concrete example of the steps that you went into that got to that point.
Well, just recently, just talking with the family, even the family, they just believe it's another, networking company that's just a pyramid scheme. And give me the walkthrough, and what did you say to them? How did it come up in conversation, that sort of thing? Well, I just went and just talked to them just normally about like what we were planning on doing and how we were starting this, and a way to make a little bit extra income and hopefully make something of it, and did research on the products, and they're all really good and all legit, and it's not just some scam or something like that, and just kind of went about it that way, and was asked if they'd be kind of interested. And they're like, well, we've kind of seen lots of these come and go over the years, and they come on strong, and it interests you, but they never seem to go anywhere. You never seem to make anything with them, right?
Yep.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, no, very, very good question. And you guys have, if I remember correctly, I haven't had a chance to speak with you, but I heard quite a bit about you guys. But if I remember correctly, y'all have experience in the industry with another company, correct?
Yeah, I've been doing Beachbody for quite a while, 5 years.
Gotcha. And you've had some success in it, as I understand, correct?
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, it's hard when you're from a small community and everybody sells.
Yeah, for sure. So first thing I would do is the way to overcome the objection, and Sarah Ho pasted that out there in teamfusionfamily.com. There is a very good story in there, very good video that overcomes that objection. And that's something that you can look in there, and there's a video that breaks that. But one of the things that I would mention is, before you even get to that point, one of the things that I'd like to see you guys do, and this might take a little bit, I came from another company as well. It took me a little bit to figure out, I know how to do the business, but it's like playing football. You play for one team and you go play for another team. You know how to block and tackle, but you might not know the playbook on what they do. Yeah. And that's one of the powerful things that is here is with this done for you model with the RP3 ATF system and all the different names that it has. What I was showing at the beginning for, the why, the list, and then peak or build rapport, peak, and then edify. What I want you guys to be careful on is telling too much. And it is so easy to do. Once you get there and you start telling a little bit, especially if you have a background in it, a lot of times what's going to happen on that is they're going to immediately think that they know everything about this.
Yeah, and that's what happens too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a good idea, just to not say so much.
That's it right there. That's it. And so what we do is when you edify and pass that step, what that is to do is to get them on the phone with me, or get them on with Jake, or get them on with Kate, or get them on with Dave, any of these other folks. And what that's going to do is you've got trust with these people, but you don't have any proof because they know you. And it's just a human reaction that if they know you, you probably don't have a whole lot of proof unless you have a whole lot of proof. Okay. So
that's the thing. Lots of them say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I have no proof yet. We just started, right?
That's it. That's it. And so you're like, well, how do I get past the proof if I haven't got any proof? So you use the team, you use us, you pass that. And so you don't even get in the conversation. You don't even get that in. They say, well, what's it all about? I say, I'll be honest with you. And so you got to set it up just right. You can't sit there at the beginning of dinner and say, hey, we just got a new thing started. What is it? Oh, I can't tell you. No, that ain't going to work. You got to, you got to flow it just right, But at the end, when you're about to head out and you're saying, you're giving hugs to everybody and say, hey, I didn't want to interrupt dinner or anything with this thing, but man, I heard what you said at the table and you were talking about you want to make some extra money. Is that the case? Boom. You built rapport because you're paying attention to what they said. They loved that. And then it's like, yes. And they piqued their interest. What do you got? I said, well, I should have talked to you about it earlier, but we got to go. Let's do this. Let me get you on the phone. I want to introduce you to a couple people. Okay, cool. They don't have a clue what it's about. Now, when I get on the phone with them, the very first thing I'm going to do is say, hey, have you ever heard of network marketing? Oh, God, is this one of those things? Nope, it's not. It's different. Really? Yeah, let me tell you why. And I do my thing. And when I get done with them, they're going to be like, okay, well, that sounds, you know what? I do need to take a little bit longer look at this because I'm a dumbass and I'm having a knee-jerk reaction to something I have absolutely no clue about.
Yeah.
When you do that, when you inoculate them first, right now they got the flu, okay? And you're over here and you're about to get the flu too if you keep doing that. So you got to make sure that that's going to go out and happen. So you got to be able to inoculate, but you can't inoculate them. The proof person's got to inoculate. So you let me get on there. I destroy the argument of pyramid scheme, network marketing doesn't work, scam, come and go. I hit all those things up. I've got 40 billion back in this thing. I got 3 traditional business owners that are doing this thing, never failed in business, been around for 11 years. It's got a real simple product that you don't have to touch. It's not going to be in the room in your house. All the different things that people have in their head, why this stuff doesn't work, I'm going to destroy. I had this with the lady in Indiana earlier. She was right off. First question out of her mouth was, is this one of those pyramid schemes? And I was like, oh, you got a story. What is it? What was it? You? Was it your uncle? Was it your brother? What happened? And I let them get it all out, and they give me everything I need to be able to destroy their argument because it's so in their head. And then I show them, and I use this all the time. I'm like, okay, so let me get this right. You've dated before, right? It's like, yeah, I'm married. Was that the first date that you ever been on, the guy that you married? Well, no. Okay, cool. So you were with some other people before, right? And you dated them? Yeah. How'd that work out? Well, not so good. It's cool. But did you give up on dating or what happened there? Well, no, I went back. Oh. And then they come to the realization finally, and they're like, got it. Now we're not going to be a goofball, and we're not going to let that hold us back. We're actually going to listen. My goal with that is simply to get them to open this thing up. And if they'll open this thing up when they see it, doesn't mean they're going to join. It means they're at least going to get all the information to make a good decision. People make a closed-ended decision all the time. Those are typically broke people, by the way, just so everybody knows that too. When they won't even listen, no. You got some really good thoughts in your head right now that are going to keep you poor for a very long time. You keep doing that.
Awesome.
That's good. Good. Well, thanks for all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good questions. And I'm really happy to have you guys on. I'm going to be seeing y'all here pretty soon because I'm going to be making a trip up there as soon as Kate or John or Van, whoever gets that car first, maybe Brooklyn too, because she's put me on with some people in Mexico that I'm pretty fired up about. So looking forward to seeing you guys in person. And if y'all need anything, please definitely reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Casey.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Well, we are out of time and we got the summit coming up. So I'm going to end this. I did this last time and it worked. I can just stop the recording